friends first. Let me thank Matt DeFerenti for coming over from Arlington to hang out with us today. Matt, thank you for your service and your support. Let me thank my friend John Chapman as well. John, I love your city. I love Richmond, but I love Alexandria as well. Thank you so much for being in my corner, my friend. Steve Toscano from Fairfax, y'all. One of my early endorsements, I told Steve I'm running run for Lieutenant Governor. He said, I'm with you. He's been with me every step of the way. I appreciate it, brother. Alexandria, you have a fantastic mayor. Aaliyah Gaskins, everyone. I was with Aaliyah yesterday on Market Square, and we talk often, we text message, but I never got a chance to hear her speak. And yesterday I got an opportunity to hear her speak. I leaned over to my team, to my teammate, Tavares, and I said, she's got it. Yeah. Alexandria, you got the right one as the mayor right here. My big sister, Dorothy McCall's with us today as well. Thank you, Dorothy, for all your help. I would be remiss if I not thank my family. Yeah. I'm on the road every day for the last, how many years? My MVP is Brandy Stoney, my wife. You coming up? I don't think she's... Get in there. And this is my other number one right here, Sunday Stoney as well. 15 months old. Whoa. Not walking just yet, but she's almost there. And I gotta thank my team as well, y'all. I got a great team. Zach Marcus is Alexandrian, who's my campaign manager. Sally McCullough is my deputy campaign manager. Give her a round of applause. Jack Anzalone, Tavares Turner, Riley Gary. Give them a round of applause, y'all. I got a great team. There's 10 days left. 10 days left. And it feels like a long time in which I've been fighting, because I will tell you all today, I've been fighting my way up the ladder from the time I was born to a couple teenagers. Mother was 16, father was 18. And from that very moment, I've been fighting my way up the ladder. Nothing given, everything earned. And if it wasn't for my grandmother who would have turned 102 yesterday, if it wasn't for her, I would not be here today. She was my guardian angel. She saved my life. And despite the challenges I had early on in my life, growing up on free and reduced lunch, sitting in the back of classrooms because we couldn't afford to go on field trips, going to school with holes in my socks, I became the first in my family to graduate from high school. The first in my family to go to college. And the first in my family to graduate from college. And when I left college, my grandmother reminded me of the words in Luke 12:48. To whom much is given, much is required. And it's been a privilege for more than 10 years now to work on the required part. I've had the opportunity and the privilege to serve my community, but also to serve my Commonwealth as well. You heard from Governor McCall when he talked about how I served alongside him, and we wanted to put our values into action. Democrats win when they put their values into action. And we believed in redemption, we believed in mercy, we believed in forgiveness. And that's why we restored those rights to over 200,000 disenfranchised Virginians. No longer second-class citizens, full citizenship, so they could participate in their state. And then folks told me I needed to jump in the arena. And they told me I should run for the mayor of Richmond. The hardest job in all of Virginia politics. And I won. At 35 years old, I became the youngest person ever to serve as the mayor of Richmond. And over the course of 8 years, you can look at our body of work. The Richmond you see today isn't the Richmond you knew 10 years ago. This isn't your great-grandfather's Richmond. This is a more dynamic Richmond, a more welcoming Richmond, a more inclusive Richmond. And over the course of 8 years, we reduced poverty by 33%. We did that by, number one, going after good paying jobs, bringing new jobs in. There are more cranes in the sky today than ever before. I'm proud of that. But also, we attained a AAA credit rating as well, saving the city millions over the course of a period of time. No urban locality, it's tough for the urban locality to attain a AAA credit rating. Richmond has it now.
Yes.
We made transit fare free, saving thousands of dollars for workers and those living on a fixed income. And we also say, you know what, we're going to make children our number one priority. And I increased funding for public schools by nearly 60% on my watch. Matt said it correctly. Teachers and educators who were getting paid on average $50,000 a year, by the time I left, they were being paid $71,000 a year. We built new schools when folks told us we couldn't. 3 new schools built on my watch in black and brown neighborhoods, but also 2 new schools will open up this year. A new high school, a renovated elementary school. I'm proud of that. But also, we want to make sure our kids have something to do after school, because that is not only the time in which they can get another meal. The last meal they get is during lunch. And we can't have our kids that are hungry for knowledge. If they're hungry, they won't be hungry for knowledge. We worked on that. And in addition to that, we said if you graduate from our schools, no matter what you did, no matter how much money your family may have, no how much money your family may have, or know how much your grades may be, we will send you to community college for free. The first locality to do that. But what I'm most known for in the Commonwealth of Virginia these days, outside being a good damn Democrat, is what I did in the summer of 2020. When I ordered the removal of every damn Confederate monument in the former capital of the Confederacy. It was indeed challenging. Threats on my life. I still live with that today. But it was the right thing to do. And I couldn't go on years and years afterwards and look that little girl in her face and then tell her that her dad did the right thing. We stood up and did the right thing. And there was folks who told me that Richard's best days had passed. That the sun wouldn't come up again, and that the city would fall into the earth. But guess what? The opposite happened. More people arrived in Richmond. More people chose Richmond. More dollars arrived in the city, and more people moved in. And you don't have to take my word for it. CNN said we were the best place to visit in the United States of America in 2024, and Travel and Leisure magazine said that we were the best damn city to live in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Now I'm running for lieutenant governor because in my bones, I believe that every Virginian deserves a fair shot at success. And a fair shot for me must end and begin with whether or not you can put a roof over your head. And right now, all across Virginia, not just here in Northern Virginia, it's becoming more expensive, too expensive, to even live here at times. Yeah. There are 1 million renters in this state, and more than half of them spend more than a third of their annual income on housing costs. And what I know is if you're spending more than a third of your wallet or your pocketbook or your account on housing costs, then you don't have enough money for the groceries. You don't have enough money for the bills. You don't have enough money for childcare as well. We need to build more housing in Virginia. We need to build more supply to meet the demand. And I think it's important that the Commonwealth play a more intentional role in incentivizing local housing reforms. In addition to that, we have to stop those Wall Street raiders from buying up every single family home in our neighborhood. A fair shot also must consist of whether or not your kids can be successful. And recently, a Harvard report stated that Virginia ranked dead last in math recovery since the pandemic. That we ranked 41st in reading recovery from the pandemic. And what I know is if your kids can't read or write or do arithmetic at grade level or by the time they graduate, then we are setting them up for a life of failure. Yeah. I want our kids to be successful. I want our kids to be competitive. And there was a time that Virginia was considered the best place to raise a child. We need to get back to those times. And that's why we need to put our shoulder to the wheel and fund the true cost of public education statewide. Statewide. And I'm talking about the full spectrum. From the time a child is born, to have access to good early childhood education through K through 12 and the best damn colleges, 2-year and 4-year system in all the country. Last but not least, you need someone who's a proven fighter for this job.
Yes.
And right now, Donald Trump has a target on Virginia's back. When he teamed up with his friend, Elon Musk, I guess they're not friends anymore. When he teamed up with Elon Musk, they were cruel. They're still being cruel about this Doge initiative that is cutting jobs, federal jobs right here in Virginia. 300,000 federal workers here in the Commonwealth. 400,000 people connected to federal contracting. And when you throw armed forces in there, 1 in 7 workers in Virginia is tied to the federal government. And when you cut a federal job, you're not just cutting a household's budget. It's not just a line item for the federal government. You're cutting out people's livelihoods. And it's a ripple effect through the entire economy. Not just Northern Virginia, but throughout the Commonwealth. Southwest Virginia depends on veteran affairs dollars. Hampton Roads depends on defense dollars. This could crater our economy. And then to take another cruel effort in cutting out the social safety net. This big, beautiful bill is diabolical and disgusting because it's cutting out the social safety net on the most vulnerable people in this state. I told you I grew up on Social Security, my grandmother's Social Security check. We depended on that each and every month. Well, right now there are 2 million people in this state who depend on Medicaid. When you include our children, when you cut Medicaid, you're cutting out a lifeline for our families. Not just here in the urban crescent, but also in rural areas as well. And when you add the tariff policy and economic policy on that, you're making it tougher for small businesses to survive and thrive in this state. Right now, we do not need silence. And when you look at Glenn Youngkin, when you look at Winston Sears, when you look at John Reed, when you look at Jason Miyares, you're getting exactly that. And folks, right now, silence is complicity. It's complicity. And what you will get with the Democratic ticket, which I will be on, is a Democratic ticket that will fight for those jobs, fight for those lives that will be unfortunately lost if you cut the social safety net. I tell you this, folks, Donald Trump has a penchant for punching down on people. He's shown it time and time again. Black people, working class people, brown people, women, the LGBT community. He does this. But I can guarantee you this. When I'm elected lieutenant governor, I will punch back. Let me end on this. I've traveled this state for a very long time. I've seen the evolution of the Democratic Party here in Virginia. The question came to me the other day, Governor. Someone asked me, is the Democratic Party still viable? Is the Democratic Party still viable? And my retort, the Democratic Party is more than just viable. We are vital. We are vital for the continuation of this democracy. We are vital for the working class. We are vital for the marginalized. And we are vital for the future generations of this state and also this country. We are vital for the little girls like my little girl and their future. Yes, the Democratic Party is vital. And when you add a strong Democratic ticket with me, Abigail Spanberger, and the AG candidate, we will not only win, we'll become that vital Democratic Party for generations and generations to come. Thank you all so much.